Tracy, Esther, Sylvia. Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Sylvia, Tracy, how are you? Esther, how are you?
Hi there, how you going?
Good. Is
Hi.
that Esther? Hi, how are you?
Hey. Oh, I can start seeing you guys now. Good.
Nice.
I think we're definitely expecting a few more. The later session's more popular because of international.
I'm sending the Zoom link to some people who are asking.
Oh, I've just lost one.
Oh.
Who else is ready with their coffee?
Got water.
Oh yeah, I've got that too.
Yeah, it is good.
I'm just getting mine. I'll turn my camera on a sec. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
You getting coffee or
Hey,
water?
Brent.
No, I don't drink coffee, but I'm actually doing a juice fast. I'm going to get a juice. So, yeah.
Esther, hey, you are back.
Brent, how are you?
Hey, Scotty, g'day, Jack.
Hey. I love how it's like just so obvious Australian with the g'day.
G'day, mate.
All right.
I think Esther must have some bad internet. She keeps cutting in and out.
Yeah. Alrighty. Let's get started. Let's get to know everybody. Where's everybody from?
Melbourne.
Oh yeah.
Melbourne.
You guys excited for Friday?
Yeah.
Don't really care. Don't bother me. What travel limits?
Joe's
I'm
entering
in
the room.
Perth. I'm in Perth.
I was going to book a trip and then I read the news and it was like, you're not allowed to go into regional. So disappointing because that's where I was going to go straight away. You know, a little bit of away from
I
metropolitan.
actually think you can. I don't think there's going to be police to stop you.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Because my mate's a copper. He does that somewhere in Victoria, and I know when he's going, so I know that's when the police are doing the stops. He just rings me. I'm going here today. All right, that means no. That means they're all out.
Well, let's keep it secret. We've got a few police on this call with us.
Have not.
Yeah, we don't.
So is that Melbourne, you can't go regional, so we can leave the state, but we can't go regional?
Yeah, that's right. Oh,
That makes
sorry.
sense.
It's
I don't
been
know.
interesting.
Sorry.
Yeah, they say you can't, but there's no coppers there, so you can. As long as I get pulled over, it doesn't matter.
Mm.
I've been pulled over yet, going outside the travel things. Never
Joe,
looked like it.
Timothy, Mike.
All right.
If you can, guys, if you could turn your cameras on as well, just so we can see your faces.
Oh.
Hi.
Hey, mate.
How you going?
Yeah, good. How you doing?
Quite good. Pumped for
I
this
had my-
morning.
I had my best week ever last week.
Excellent.
Yeah, I know. This week's a little bit slower, but sometimes the client client marketing goes in waves, and sometimes different. It's weird. Some weeks my marketing just smashes it. Other weeks it's just like fucking grinding. So
Yep.
But yeah, things are good.
Because with the monthly cycle, we were going to talk about second sessions and third sessions, the entire program.
Yep.
I remember like when I first started in hypnotherapy, and I was trying to like work out like, why is there like, half the month is good, half the month is bad, and there's a good month and a bad month. And the school that I'd studied at, they were selling programs that were like, $3,000 to $4,000. And I was asking them like, having a good week or a bad week. And I didn't quite understand at the time when they said that they don't operate like that.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you don't operate like you don't have good and bad weeks? They've gone, well, we've got like 4 lots of intakes per year, and we've given ourselves enough time to fill them. So it's, their money's not directly related to someone's sick that they don't show up for all sorts of things, because people are committed to the program, and then they pay the program, and then if they can't work for a particular lesson or a day, they basically get some recordings or some work to do at home.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a stage in the business that it'll be really like, you've your best week ever, and then you want to go to the stage, which is not to have those ups and downs based on just traffic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess the nice thing about Bark is that I've got a continuous flow of pre-qualified hot clients, more or less, and so that's working really, really well. And so it's just getting the right processes and systems after the initial contact, and getting them, selling them into programs instead of, a couple of sessions. So with my hypnosis and hypnotherapy, I can smash whatever the reporting problem is out of the park in 1, maybe 2 sessions, and then and getting repeats after that is the trick. With the couples counselling, and look, the couples counselling is around it's around 75% of what I do. There's
We'll talk about that soon. We just need to sort of we're about to get started with like the whole.
Oh, okay, sure.
But let's take that conversation offline. But I'm definitely keen to have a chat with you. All right, guys. Like, if you can see in the group post, can everyone see that?
Yes.
All right. So if you guys could say hi in the comment section, the one that says starting in 50 minutes. And so we've got a reason for doing it that way is so that we can all kind of talk at once without it all being sound all happening at the same time. Like, it's a lot easier to have like all talking at once if it's text. Excellent. Hi. Sylvia, hi. Jackie, hi. And then we're going to play a little game to warm us all up, just to get to know each other. That it's interesting how these kind of events, they happen a lot more smoothly if we do a little bit of an icebreaker first. And so it's also in, Tracy, hi there. In getting to know each other this way, it's part of our marketing so for the rest of the group. So like because we've got another Zoom call happening a little bit later today, having this thread actually helps to put it into their news feed. So it's like one of those sort of like marketing tricks, tactics that we use. Michael, hi. So let's start with a little game called, oh, Brent, hi. Joe, hi. A little game called 2 Truths and a Lie. So the way that this works is that in the comment thread, I'd like for you to say 3 things about yourself. 2 of them be true, 1 of them be a lie. You decide the order so that not everybody goes like, okay, 1 truth, 1 lie, kind of like that. It's got to randomize it because we're all going to have to guess which one was the lie. So I'll go first. So if I basically say, I was born in Sydney, I have 2 children, and I can solve a Rubik's Cube in under 30 seconds. In the comments section, if you could give us the 2 truths and a lie, and also have a guess as to, out of those 3 things that I said, which one's the lie? Which one about me is actually not true? Brent says the lie is no kids. Michael says the kids are a lie. So you can tell probably who knows me personally. Sylvia says Rubik's Cube. Tracy says no Rubik's Cube. Oh, yep, Rubik's with an X. This is always fun guessing as to what do we know about people? What do we not know about people? So if you wanted to type in the comment section as well, one for yourself. So what are 2 truths about you and what is a lie? Brent, DJ at a nightclub. Or if you can, kind of put it all 3 into the one comment. DJ at a nightclub. Jackie, I am a painter. I have 2 dogs. I played basketball in America. This is interesting because it's like, I know the answer to Jackie's one, but all 3 of them sound like very specific. Michael, I've built 2 aircraft. I have 2 martial art black belts and I speak 3 languages. So let's go with Jackie's. In the comments, replying to Jackie, which one of those do you think is a lie? So just to answer my one, I actually have no kids. So I've been playing with Rubik's Cubes probably for the last 8 years. And then I got onto doing the 4x4 cube and the 5x5 and then all the different shapes. So I'm quite a nerd with those. It's one of those party skills that all of my friends have seen way too often for the last 8 years. But it's always good when you find a new crowd that have never seen it before. So what do we reckon about Jackie? I'm a painter. I have 2 dogs. I played basketball in America.
That's not a different thread.
So if playing basketball in America is true, it probably wouldn't be recently. 2 dogs, that's probably easy to have. A painter. So which one? What do you guys reckon about Jackie's?
I'm looking behind me. What do you mean there's a painting behind me?
Painting behind you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I said something that sounded like that.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, guys, how about just unmute yourself just so that we can get a bit of pace. So even if you're still typing, just let us know which one of Jackie's do you think is a lie?
Got 2 dogs.
2 dogs? Why do you reckon that?
Because I know she's got 1.
Very good. What did everybody else get for Jackie?
Yeah, I got 2 dogs.
I thought it would be hard, but everyone guessed it.
Yeah. Like if somebody said 8 dogs, it'd be more likely, oh, that might be correct. Because they're putting it in to try to trick you. Did everybody get 2 dogs or did somebody else pick something else? All right, so Michael, I've built 2 aircraft. I have 2 martial arts black belts, and I speak 3 languages. Can everyone just like unmute yourself for the moment? I just want to hear some voices. Which one do you reckon is the lie for Michael?
Martial arts.
Martial arts.
3 languages.
Yeah, martial arts.
3 languages? Martial arts?
Natalia, welcome. Oh, that's not Natalia. It's Les.
Sorry about that. I'm using someone else's Zoom. I'll change the name.
Les, you might know this game of 2 truths and a lie, and perhaps where we picked the game up from.
Perfect.
So in the comments, if you can put in your 2 truths and a lie. All right, guys, like just to unmute yourself, we just want to hear with Michael, is it I've built 2 aircraft, I have 2 martial art black belts, or I speak 3 languages? Which one is the lie?
Actually, I'm going to go the 3 languages.
3 languages? Why is that?
He looks like a martial arts person.
Yeah. So that's a compliment. Who else has guessed perhaps like which one for Michael? Oh, sorry, Joe, is that you?
Yes.
I think there's like an echo in the background. Les, we're typing on the comments thread in the group, so
Yep,
I'll just tell you.
I think that's what I'm doing now.
Oh yeah, excellent. All right, so Michael, which one was it?
The lie was the martial arts. I've only got 1 of those,
Oh,
but I do speak 3 languages. I speak German, Spanish, and English. I can understand a bit of Dutch and I can understand a bit of Italian. But anyway, but I'm conversational German, and when I spent a month in Costa Rica learning Spanish, so with about a week in a Spanish-speaking country, I can get around. So that's the
yes.
answer. Yep.
Les, have you found like the Facebook thread?
Oh, right. Yes, hang on. And that's in the chat bar, or?
That's in the Entrepreneurs Rivalry. So it
Yep.
looks like you did a.
Sorry, my internet is down, guys. Sorry.
Okay.
But yes, give me a second.
So Brent, Pat Cash beat me at table tennis, played golf at St. Andrews. My sister lives in the USA. Which one is a lie?
Do you want me to tell you?
Everyone else.
Pat Cash.
Pat Cash. Who else wants to guess?
I reckon Pat Cash.
Cash?
Mm.
Who else?
Yeah, I'll go the Pat Cash too.
Pat Cash. Nice. So Brent, what was it?
My sister lives in USA.
Oh, I was going to say that.
Okay. So you have played, sorry, Pat Cash has beat you at table tennis.
Yep, and I beat Wiley Missoula same day. Australian tennis player. We're all about 15. They were 15, I was 12. They came to my house.
Hey Jackie, can you tag Les in the post?
Yeah. I'm also
Cheers, thank
I will.
tagging Timothy.
Yeah.
You guys will get a notification.
Tracy, so vegan, born in Melbourne, and singer in a band. Which one is a lie?
Singer. Singer?
Singer.
Don't think I can sing. I can't sing.
Done, guys. All right, Sylvia, grandmother of 2, have 4 children and 4 pets, and have been a state athlete in primary school.
Athlete. Because I feel like the first 2
What was the second
add
one?
up. You know, to like it makes sense if we've got 4 children to have the I don't know.
She's not old enough to have grandkids.
So which one was it?
The grandkids one. She's not old enough.
Sylvia, who's right and who's wrong?
It's the state athlete. I didn't quite get there. Nearly.
Ah, okay.
What
And
sport?
Joe, oh, sorry.
What sport was it? What athletic sport was it?
I did discus, shot put, and javelin. I was the upper body strength person.
Wow. I
Yeah.
always stuck to that. Always.
Yeah. And Joe, I live in UK. I am a fitness freak, and I love cats. And there's even the cat emoji. I'm actually going to pick that one because of the emoji.
Yeah, I'll go with the cats too.
Same reason or different reason?
Yeah, same reason. Because once you said that, I was like, oh, that sounds like a good reason to pick it.
Yeah. So which one?
I live in UK. I didn't hear where you said you live in the beginning.
So for Joe, it's I live in UK. I am a
I'm gonna
fitness freak.
say, don't live in
This
UK.
This is Joe's.
Okay.
So Joe, which one's the lie?
The lie is that I love cats.
The cats?
Hey.
Yes. Timothy, I have 3 dogs. My sister-in-law lives in the UK, and my brother lives in the US. I was going to pick dogs.
Dogs.
Dogs, yeah.
I reckon perhaps that you've got a different number of dogs.
You guys should look at his cover photo. Like,
Yeah, I'm going with the dogs too,
Oh,
Timothy.
there's 3 dogs in the cover photo.
Oh,
Okay, I want to change my answer. What about my sister-in-law lives in the UK? So Timothy, which one?
My brother lives in the US. I don't have a brother.
Oh, okay. I was wrong twice in a row.
great
Wow.
question. Like,
And Les, I've been in 2 Bollywood movies. I have a black belt in Taekwondo, and I have 4 brothers and sisters.
4 brothers and sisters.
black belt.
I'm going to go the 4 brothers.
Bollywood movies.
No, he's been in them, I reckon.
Oh yeah.
Yep. He's been everywhere, that man. It's the brothers and sisters.
I don't know
I
you.
reckon.
Yeah. The
Les,
only yeah, so the one is the black belt. I only got to red stripe 3.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
You've done a lot of things. All right, guys. So now that we've warmed up a little bit, I feel like we've got to know each other. We want to tell like a little bit of a story. So like if you guys want to grow the business and there's these targets perhaps that you have, it might be like 6 figures, it might be multiple 6 figures. It might be to basically expand your reach on social media. It might be to get more sales. It could be any of these different things. Last time we ran this group, the first person to finish all of the exercises, she made a sale for $997 just by doing the exercises that we're showing you. So today is the first step of those exercises. And Jackie's about to show you an exercise as to how it's done. But first, so like just a little bit about myself. So I've been doing clinical hypnotherapy for about 11 years now. And I started studying clinical hypnotherapy about 13 years ago. And so my first year of business, I was seeing 40 clients per week, and I was on the Hamish and Andy show. So if you're not from Australia, that was at the time the top grossing radio show. And so I was on it for 3 days just by doing a couple of sort of techniques, which really kind of cuts through the noise. Because you might find that, like, you know, everyone's kind of doing the same things out there. Everyone's like really noisy, but then you find there's some people that look like they're doing exactly the same thing, but they cut through all the way to the top. And sometimes, like, just seeing the examples isn't enough for you to copy it. You've got to have the breakdown as to, like, what's the thinking process behind those hacks and systems that gets you to break through the noise. So if everybody basically wants that, everybody wants to expand their business, expand their reach, and to be able to do it without getting exhausted, without like posting a selfie every 5 seconds, without having to feel as though that, you know, that there's this never ending kind of like, you know, pushing the boulder up the hill that just never ends, you can actually get to the other side. So like there's some techniques that Jackie has showing that, like, where she's had 800 people saying, oh, I'm into a post, others that have had something like 0 or just 1 or 2, and the differences between them, and why some did like 800 or more, or over 1,000 people saying I'm in, whereas some fell flat, and you can see the distinctions. So Jackie, if you just want to tell us first, like, just a bit about yourself.
Hey, everybody. So thanks, Scott. Pretty much, I've been in business, I lose track of time, but for about 5 or 6 years, something like that. And when I started because I did a degree in graphic design, website design. So I started with those skills. So I did websites, logos, branding, all of that for business owners. And it was really hard at the start because, you know, you go into business and I thought, you know, open business, get a nice website, get a nice logo, and clients will come. But I did that and it was very, I got a smile at that. It was very inconsistent. Like I found that the only way I got clients is through my network, you know, by going to networking events and going to a lot of them, trying to meet as many people. And I found at the start, like, social media didn't work for me. So I would post all the time, not all the time, but here and there. And my family would like it. My friends would like it, but it would never get me any new clients. And I found the only way I got clients was through going to these networking events. But like, you had to drive to that networking event, you had to go around and speak to everybody and hand out business cards. And I just thought it was really unsustainable. And, you know, it put a lot of pressure on me to get a client from this event. So I pretty much started to learn marketing because I had to, because I was like, either I give up, go get a 9-to-5 job, or I learn marketing and work out what I'm doing wrong. And so I started doing just course after course. So I started falling in love with marketing. And pretty much what I learned is that, so has anyone ever heard in marketing that the way to advertise yourself is you've got to advertise either the problem or the solution? Has anyone heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like pretty common. So I got told that. But the bit that I didn't get was, you know, I was selling websites, I was selling logos. And, you know, I was advertising that and saying, you know, who needs a website? Who needs a logo? And I believed I was advertising the problem. Do you? Nah, shaking your head.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I wasn't. That's why it wasn't working. So what I realized is, you know, and I didn't realize this until I actually got a mentor, but I was like, it is a problem, but it's not the main problem. Like, I realized if you're in your marketing, if it's not working right now, the problem most likely is you're advertising the wrong problem. You know, you haven't hit the nail on the head. And what I learned is what people didn't want a website just because they needed a website for a business. Why did they actually want a website? Anyone know?
Well, to get more views out there, right? To get more eyes on their on what they're
More
doing.
sales, generate business.
Yeah. So when I realized that the reason, you know, people got graphic design, you know, logos, website branding, was sales. They wanted to look high prestige. They wanted to have a website that attracted clients and got views. They wanted to have social media that got them views, leads, and then clients. And when I realized this and I added it to my marketing, that's when it changed. That's when it started working, because I realized when you talk about the right problem on social media and then you start giving a lot of value on that right problem, that's when people are interested. And that's when the marketing can actually work. So yeah, and then fast forward to today, I've become quite obsessed with marketing. And with all my graphic design clients, the reason I'm here today is because I showed them marketing. I started getting, at first I was getting 50 leads from a post. And like Scott said, now I'm getting like 800 in just a matter of days from a post. And so with my graphic design clients back then, I started showing them my marketing stuff I was learning. And now I pretty much do both. So yeah, it's crazy how, by just getting that one thing wrong and talking about the wrong problem, how it just screwed up my whole business. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make sure that you guys are talking about the right problem. Because if you're making a mistake like me, it's just not going to work, or it's not going to be consistent. Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to tell you guys a story. And this story is not to get like sympathy or like, Paul Scott. It's something that happened like about 4 years ago now. But at the same time, like we're using this story to illustrate the steps that we want you to follow. So like soon when Jackie's going to take you through an exercise that we're going to get you guys to do today, and then to do some homework in the group. This story is just to illustrate like what's the thinking that really cuts through to the other side, so that you can actually put out a post or put out some marketing that gets lots and lots, like perhaps hundreds of people responding to it, versus like, has anybody ever been, I'm just going to go to gallery so I can see your faces. Has anybody been frustrated by putting out perhaps like a post that doesn't get any traction? Yeah, alrighty. So this particular story, so like it's a little bit sensitive. There's nothing graphic in it whatsoever. It's just that it's a bit sad. And so it just means that I'm going to be sort of like bumming everybody out a little bit, like making everyone like a little bit sad before it gets happy. And we're not afraid to do that. I think that's what makes us different. Not afraid to like, upset everyone and ruin everyone's day with like a sad story. So about 4 years ago, I was with my wife, and we were what I thought was happy. We were about to go on this camp trip with all of my friends. And so at the last minute, she pulled out and basically said that she just wasn't well or had something else to do. And I've basically asked, like, do you want me to stay home? Do you want me to kind of like just hang back and sort of look after you? And she's like, no, you go. And she's like, energetically packing my bags, and she didn't sort of look too sick. And so it kind of looked it was confusing for me, because I'm like wondering, like, why is she so excited to get rid of me? And so then I went on this camp trip, and I had some some drinks with some friends, campfire, some food we cooked, and just had like a really great time. And people are asking like, how's your wife? I'm like, oh, she's great. And then when I came home, I started like on the drive home, like started to see these, signs, like literally like street signs, like one said approach with caution. And I felt something about it, which was kind of weird. I'm thinking sometimes I can have like this sort of like weird intuitive spiritual side, but other times I like to be like quite straight-laced and logical. But there was something about it that just sort of felt weird. It's just that I had no idea what it meant, or like why I was paying so much attention to a sign that says approach with caution. And when I get home from a camp trip, sometimes I tend to sort of feel like a bit nervous, especially if it's like it's a Sunday and the next day I've got to be at work, because I've got to send people the text messages for the next day saying, here's your appointment reminder. I've got to do all these things. But then also at the same time, like wash my clothes, settle in, kind of like have a shower, and, just unpack the car and just get all this stuff done. So sometimes it can feel a little bit stressful, like, coming back from a camp trip. So it just takes me like a little while just to get, back into like the normal routine. But this particular time when I came home, I found this note at the door, and I opened it. It was from my wife, and it said, I've moved out. It didn't say broken up. It didn't say that things are over. It just said, I've moved out. And it's very confusing, because usually in a marriage or something, if it's going to end, you talk about it, or you see it coming, or something. Like, there's a lot of people that might be blindsided by it. I was blindsided by this. Like, I had no idea there was something else going on in the background. And so I went to call her, and apparently she'd changed her phone number. I'd called her parents, and I went, I found this note. I'm kind of confused. Do you guys know anything about it? Do you know what's going on? And they've gone like, oh yeah, she's with us. And I've gone, okay, is she okay? Or am I cooking her dinner tonight? Or what's happening? It's like, they've gone, oh, just wait for her to call you, because we don't really know that much about what's going on, but she doesn't want to talk to you for a bit. I'm like, okay, is there anything I need to do? Is there anything that she needs from me? They're like, well, we don't know. Just wait for her to call you. And it was something like about 5 weeks before she called me. So she changed phone numbers straight away. I didn't realize at the time that she was like already in a new relationship. The week before we were going to go on this camp trip, she actually, like the two of us, like we were out house hunting. We were about to buy a house. Like we had like, the money to do it. We'd sort of picked one that we were thinking about perhaps getting. We'd gone to my grandma's house to like brag about it. And she was like nonstop saying like, we're going to get this house. It's really exciting. And so I really didn't think at the time that she was already in another relationship and that she was about to leave. And then she also took all of the money that we had and she brought it to the next relationship because I trusted her. All of the money was in her accounts. But it was just a really confusing time. And so that like my brother, basically, he freed up a lot of his time to basically just spend it with me, just to hear me say the same things over and over again. As we walked around, like near my office, there's like this oval, and we were just walking around it like day after day, 5 or 6 times a day. And I just kept asking him, like, do you think she'll call today? And he's like, I don't know. Well, do you think she'll call today? He's like, I don't know. And so I just kept repeating the same questions because my brain wouldn't stop repeating the same questions. And I just didn't know what to do. And he was very patient with that. He was very understanding and very caring. And so there's a particular point that I want to make here about marketing. Think about from my point of view. At that particular time, feeling so confused about what's going to happen next. If you can just type in the chat thread, when I went to YouTube to kind of look up some stuff for help, what do you reckon I typed in? My wife left me, lost relationship. I swear that this next part gets happier. That's pretty much like the end of kind of like making everybody sad. So from here, we've gone like down and we're going to go back up again because it's going to be awesome, these next steps, especially for you guys. So what about this? Could you imagine, like, did I type into YouTube how to get a 10% discount on a relationship counselor? Who thinks I typed that in? Joe says, how to get my wife back. That's the exact phrase I typed into YouTube, actually, how to get my wife back. Who thinks I typed in as well, how to get a 10% discount on a relationship counselor? So just in the comments thread. And if you don't think I typed that in, why do you think that I did not type in how to get a 10% discount off a relationship counselor? Yeah, Brent says no. $10% discount doesn't solve the problem. Well, it's definitely not what was going through my head. Like how much it would cost. Like when you're in a time of panic or when you're in a time of like, you need someone to help you out. Yeah, no, money wasn't the priority. Relationship was, says Sylvia. Yeah, absolutely. My question that I was asking YouTube was absolutely on topic for me because it's like how to get your ex back. I found this guy online on YouTube called Breakup Brad. And he basically did this thing like where he said that, so you've been blindsided in your ex or your current ex, whichever they might be, whatever it is that in your relationship, they've left and you're very confused, you're not exactly sure what to do. And he's gone, whether you want to let them go and heal or whether you want to get them back, the technique is actually the same, either way. And he said, like, what you need to do is give them 30 days where you don't reach out. You give them 30 days of no contact. If they call you, answer the phone. If they write to you, if they email you, answer them back. It's rude not to. But if they're so upset or if they're at a state where they've decided to leave, that was their decision. And they've said that if you want to do 2 things, one is show them that you can behave well. And the other one is like reset any anger, any feelings that they have that are negative towards you. the best possible thing you can do is not bombard them with apologies or flowers or like these giant kind of, like getting the, the jukebox, or we could play Wham outside, or like with Shakespeare, kind of, playing the mandolin outside of like the bedroom, or like throwing rocks in the bedroom and like, hey, come outside. And I've made you a present to say how sorry I am. They basically said, don't do any of that stuff. The first thing you need to do is give them 30 days no contact so that they can actually sort out whatever they want to sort out without you, and then allow them to be the one who then decides to recontact you. And when I heard that, could you imagine that, like, at the time, I was like just grasping for any concrete concepts that I could get to help me to make sense of my own life. It's like something's happened to me. I thought I was good at psychology. I thought I was a good read of human behavior, but now I don't know because this thing's happened. And then this person shows me, like through video after video on YouTube, he's got a technique that I can follow. And if I just keep following it, I'll get to the other side. I bought all of his courses. Why do you reckon I bought all of his courses, but someone else who goes like, oh, I'm a relationship coach. You need some relationship coaching from me. Come and get some relationship coaching. I'll give you a 10% discount. Why did I choose Breakup Brad instead of choosing the pushy kind of like, oh, you need a relationship coach?
Well, the word breakup.
Yeah, Corey Wayne as well, yeah. Yeah, well, one of them was talking about my problem. The other one was talking about their skills. Does that make sense, guys? So in the chat, if that makes sense, like the biggest technique that Jackie and I have ever found, like if you want to do a post that gets like, say, either a couple of hundred or 800 people commenting I'm in, the biggest technique we've ever found is that you must come from the other person's point of view, talking about their problem, and not just talk about your skill sets.
Yeah.
Can you say yes in the group if that makes sense? Yes, says Sylvia. Brent says yes. Joe says yes. You resonated with him because he said your exact problem, Tracy. Yes, absolutely. Yes. So has anybody perhaps felt that you've made the mistake in the past of when you've done a post on Facebook, maybe you felt sad or felt kind of helpless because you did a post and you didn't get anything back, or maybe you put a lot of work in. But have you ever been guilty of putting one out that was basically listing either discounts or desperation or skills, instead of coming from like what one of our students was saying, the other side of the mirror, come from the other person's point of view? Have you ever been guilty of that? Yes, absolutely. So Jackie has an exercise for you. So if you guys want an exact walkthrough of how you want to do a post, she's going to show you the exact steps that you can follow to make sure that your post will actually come from the right person's perspective. Do you guys want that? Unmute yourself. I want to hear something. I want to hear some sounds.
Yeah.
You go for it, Jackie.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What would that do for you?
Get a better understanding.
Yeah, more leads. Grow your social media. More time off if you need, so that you don't need to be like posting a selfie every 30 seconds, sort of like guessing social media. Jackie has the exact formula. Alrighty, so Jackie.
So does everybody have a piece of paper and a pen? Sweet, love it. Okay, let's do this. So from our stories, as you would have got, we both talked about getting the right problem. So right now we're going to break down what that is from the other person's perspective, from your customer. So, and ultimately, guys, over the next 5 days, we're going to be walking through all the steps from leads to sales. Right now we're at leads. So this is how to create a post. And we're doing an exercise right now, how to create a post to get leads. And then later in these 5 days, we're going to talk about how to sell to them later. So people will either buy from you because of 2 reasons, and they are pain or pleasure. So can everybody draw on your piece of paper a line across the middle, like so? And on the left of the line, write pain, and on the right, write pleasure. So on the left, pain, on the right, it says pleasure. So what do I mean by this? So, you know, if I have a sore back, I might go to a physio or to a chiro because of pain, you know, whereas someone might buy the latest iPhone, even though they've got a perfectly good iPhone working because of pleasure, right? We can also break this up even more into short-term and long-term. So what I want you guys to do is draw another line. So now you've got a plus. And on the top of the line, at the top here, write future. And on the bottom, right now. Perfect. And pretty much what this does is this forms, it's one of our favorite exercises, our DDFF exercise. I'm going to walk you through what DDFF stands for. But what we've seen, Scott and I, is when we do this exercise before putting out a post, our posts do dramatically better, like so much better. If I don't do this before, the post will flop. And the reason is it's because it's coming from the other person's point of view. So I'm just going to share my screen. Perfect. Oops. Always do that. I press, after I say share, I press share rather than present. One second, just a tech malfunction. Have a glass of water. I just have to find the slide again. Yep, got it. Present. Okay.
Technology is amazing.
It really is. I clicked the wrong button, and then it was just because I've got the Zoom going at once, so slow to change it back. Okay, I'm back. This time I'll click the right button. And we're out on action. So that you can actually see what it says. I've actually got some slides. Scott and I do this as like an event all the time. So we use this formula so much just because it's brilliant. Actually, the last Rivalry, someone said to us they'd never seen this broken down into a more simpler way, you know, of how to work out where your customer is, and so that you can use it in your marketing. So that's what you should have on your piece of paper at the moment. And let's break it down. So the top right quadrant. So this is the DDFF exercise. So the first D stands for dreams. So I want you to write this down, and we're going to fill it out in a second with some dot points in each quadrant. But dreams are, because it's future and pleasure. So these are your clients' long-term wants. So this could be in the next 10 years. It's something they want in the future. Does anyone have an example of what a dream could be? Just of anything. What's something someone...
Travel.
Yeah.
Travel.
Yes, especially right now. Spot on. Spot on. Oh, that's like a happy sad. It's kind of like I smiled and then I was like, oh. Spot on. Desires. This is so DDFF. The DDFF stands for everything you need to know in your marketing in order to understand your client's point of view, so we can use it in your post in a second. So the second D stands for desires. This is pleasure plus now, so today. So this is, what are your client's short-term wants? This is referring to today. You know, what does your client want today to make them feel happier and better? Or what do they want maybe this week? Does anyone have an example of what a desire could be?
Lollies.
Yes. Yeah. Anything that just, you know, ticks the box for today. Spot on. Then the bottom left is pain and now. So this is what we call frustrations. So I want you to think, what is frustrating your client this week or this month? What's annoying them? Does anyone have an example of what a frustration could be?
Can't get traction with marketing, so doing posting and getting crickets.
Yeah, spot on.
Being in a sexless relationship.
Yes. Yes. And the last one, guys, is the top left. So that's future and pain. So this is what we call fears. So DDFF, you can see it now. So fears are the future fears that keep your client up at night. So, you know, imagine they can't sleep, they're worried maybe about their future, maybe the next 5, 10 years. What's an example of what a future fear could be?
Staying in a relationship with someone that's being objectively very cruel to them.
So what do you reckon that they're worried about if they stayed in it that would happen in the future?
That they'll be perpetually unhappy.
Yeah, so unhappy for a long time. They never will be happy.
They'll waste their life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that the future's just going to get worse. So they live a life of unending grind of someone just determinedly never giving them what they want. And yeah, I see a lot of people like that.
Okay, guys. So now what I want you to do is we gave some brief examples going around. Now what I want you to do though is have a go at doing this for yourself. So what we want you to do is have a think about, and do dreams, desires, fears, and frustrations for your business. And in the chat thread that you've been commenting on in the Rivalry group, I want you to comment what your responses are. So for example, if I was just to do an example right now so you can see, I am 40. So I just did an example so you can all see, but pretty much what we need, Scott and I, so we understand what you're talking about, is when you go to list some examples for each of these, I want you just to say the title. So are you talking about dreams? Are you talking about desires? Are you talking about frustrations or fears? And do it for all 4 and list about 3 things that they could be for all 4. Realistically though, when we do this, we do it in far more detail. So I recommend after this session, actually sitting down and writing maybe 50 for each of these quadrants, because the more detailed you do this now and just spending that extra time now, the better the result you'll get later. Scott, is there anything else you want to add?
I'm just writing some examples of my own in the group.
Perfect. Okay, guys, have a think about it. I'll give you a couple minutes. But have a go and put it in the group so that we can, see it.
Hey guys, I got to run. I got a client session starting in 5 minutes. I'll see you later.
Chat to you soon.
Later.
Brant. Dreams, travel the world at work from my laptop. And work from laptop. Play golf at Augusta, Georgia. Did I say that right?
Yep, that's right.
Live with my sister in France for 6 months as soon as possible. Yeah. So what I like about these is that none of them are coming from the other person's skill set. These are just things you want. Tracy, desires to feel great in my body each day. Frustrations, feeling stuck, procrastinating, overwhelmed. That particular one, say like that frustration, it's good that it's coming from the other person's point of view, but it could be more specific. Whereas like the desires, feel great in my body each day, that's something that I can picture and visualize. Frustrations, feeling stuck, procrastinating, overwhelmed. I'm either not picturing something or I'm picturing too many things. If you could be more specific on that one, what are they feeling stuck with? What are they procrastinating to do? Like, is it something like, one of my friends who, she now has a multi-million-dollar business, Natasha Denman, and she's got this retreat that she sells called the Ultimate 48-Hour Author Retreat. And so when she talks to people about a frustration where it comes to becoming an author, just the name of the program, like the Ultimate 48-Hour Author Retreat. So she calls herself the Ultimate 48-Hour Author. Being an author in 48 hours, she shows people how to write a book in 48 hours. And so the procrastination is very much to do with writing a book. So she might say something like, have you been writing your book for years? Or do you have a book in you, but you just don't know when to start? Or how would you like to finish your book in 48 hours? It's very specific to one thing. Like when I first started doing hypnotherapy, I was putting up flyers that basically said hypnotherapy, and I had like 50 different niches under it. And it didn't do very well. And then after a while, I had these coaches that were telling me that if I pick one problem and really own my topic and really delve into my topic, not only will I get more people, but I'll get people that aren't even from that topic. So then I put out a flyer that said, can't quit, like with a picture of a stomped out cigarette. And so then in my first week of hypnotherapy, doing that, I got 16 people booking in. And besides the smoking, I also got people booking in weight loss, even though I didn't advertise it. So by picking one thing very specific, I got a lot more people, not just for smoking, but for other niches too, which is really interesting. So it's kind of like thinking about a sword. The pointy end goes in deeper than what a blunt hammer would do. So Timothy, dreams, financial and location freedom, retire my wife. I like that, retire my wife. How do you pronounce this? Live in, I'm not sure, Jeju?
Oh, that is Jeju, an island in South Korea. It's
okay.
It's lovely.
Yeah. So as kind of a bit of a hint to get this exercise just really as nailed as possible, like to really get your posts working, what's the one niche? What's the narrow thing that you're helping people to achieve? And so it could even be something big, like writing a book is pretty big, but it's still narrow because it's to do with just one thing. But also, what's the one picture that you want me or your customer to have in their head about you? Tracy, okay, I've got it. Frustrations, feeling stuck in how to build my business. Not sure what to do next. Want to grow my business, getting lots of leads, but not converting them. I like that, getting lots of leads, but not converting them. That's very specific. So it's like, are you sick of doing 6 cafe chats a week where you buy them coffee and you sit down with them one by one for an hour, and at the end of the week, you've still got no sales?
Well, I'm doing 100 Zoom calls with people, doing a trauma frequency scan with them, and you know, they're saying it's amazing. So I'm offering them this free scan and giving them a frequency experience, and then not converting them into a sale. So
Oh, okay. So that's not so much a niche. That's something that you're dealing with.
Yeah, very
It's
niche.
still a great example of if somebody wanted to sell. If somebody wanted to sell to you, that's the exact problem you'd want them to fix.
Yeah.
So with your niche though, what's the exact problem that they want to have fixed?
So that they are struggling with sleeping, or they're struggling with pain, or they're struggling with brain fog. The frustration they've got is that they are, you know, going to bed and they're waking up 5 times a night, or they're you know,
Brilliant.
just sitting trying to do their job, and they're in pain and they can't do it because their back hurts, and that's what I can help them with.
Good.
You know, or they can't think clearly because they've got brain fog and they're just, you know, numbed out.
On your calls, do you find have you perhaps spent more time talking about your skills or the technique, or have you spent more time talking about their pain and their point of view and how they feel about it?
So in the beginning, I do that. I do the, tell me about what's where you at, what would make this make a difference for you. So they tell me about their pain. Where are you at with that? What's that like? What's the impact of that? What would it be like if you didn't have that pain? So I do drill into that a lot and try and get them to sort of rate it out of 10. Imagine what it would be like if you didn't have that. Then we actually have an experience and I disappear their pain. So their pain goes from 8 out of 10 to nothing in the 1 hour. And I'm just, there's a missing bit because I'm not selling them.
Yeah. So we'll be covering in especially like day 5 when we're talking about how to sell anything. We'll be covering more of that. But it sounds like that you've probably done a very good job of attracting them, which is brilliant. As you've said, that the amount of people that you get onto a call shows that you know how to get attention. You know how to get them to spend time with you. It's really like it's the next segment that's going to be most important. Jackie, do you want me to read these out, or do you want to?
Oh, you can read it out.
All right. Overcome grief fast. So Brent, with that, so you've got FAST as an acronym.
Yep.
Probably also means that that's the 4 steps. Overcoming grief, FAST probably isn't like, say, that when it comes to just getting their attention in the first place. If you can go more into detail of how the grief is affecting them, and we can save the FAST part, so that we're in one of the future days, we're going to be talking about exactly how to tell the story and then how to give a teachable framework. So to begin with, let's say like the first thing you want is to get their attention.
Yep.
Like with Tracy, like doing so many Zoom calls, I'd say that segment of her business is 100% successful, because it's like, if you can get, so many Zoom calls per week, the next part would be the sales. In this particular case, it's to overcome grief fast. It's not so much that a person overcoming grief wants to do it fast or slow. It's that they want to be understood. And they're very frustrated because they're not. So it's like that some people are telling them, like, can't you just get over it? Or are you still talking about that? Does that make sense?
Yep.
So it could be something like, how to cope with grief when everyone's trying to hurry you up.
You're good.
Sylvia, I just read yours, and you're talking about, so she said frustrations, not having an automated system to have a sleek operating procedure to work smart. So I'd like to know your audience not having an automated system, like, what's the problem with that? Like, how to...
Too much time being hands-on, like, rather than working, like being your own assistant, like you're being, you're the CEO potentially of your own business, and you're paying the CEO to do admin work. Like, if you don't have an assistant, you are one. So just having that automated system where you're not having to be so hands-on, like, for example, sending automated reminders to your clients, having automated generated tax invoices, things like that.
Yeah, so just to really dive deeper into your frustration, I want to make sure we they really feel that frustration. So if they don't have an automated system, that like that annoying game where you say, but why, and you keep going until you get to that core reason. Let's do that. So that's pretty much what we're doing. So if they don't have an automated system, you're saying, and I said, but why is that a problem? You're like, because they don't have time. But why go deeper?
I suppose at the end of it, you're time poor, you're feeling overworked.
Yeah, feeling overworked. There you go. That's the frustration. So they're feeling overworked because they're time poor, and your solution's the automated system. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have it. I want it. That was actually personally my frustration. So I've obviously taken this the wrong way around.
Ah, gotcha. So
Yeah.
what's your
That's
need?
what we love about doing these Zoom calls is that it brings all these issues up to the surface. So no matter what you need to solve in your business later, it all rests on this, that if you want to get money in your business, that if you can really nail the niche, then every other problem can then lean heavily on the fact that you got this exercise correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is really, so we've talked to some people that have said like, well, you know, I've never seen a client, or I've seen them, but I just tend to talk. And so sometimes like what needs to happen is like you interview them. So like thinking about like, when you coach someone, do you know how like they're negative and you're positive and you're like, stop being so negative. Let me tell you my positive.
Mm.
So what we're doing is we're almost like flipping that around for a moment and saying, you know, that negative that they keep telling you, instead of like telling them to keep that quiet, let's write it down.
Mhm.
And let's make that the DDFF. Like if someone's like, you know, that genuine moment of frustration, like where your client says, I just had to, that's what we're trying to write down here.
Mhm.
Catch them in a moment of genuine emotional frustration, because that will be the exact language that will make your next ad. Like when I was at the Academy of Hypnotic Science and I was basically teaching a seminar, I was asked to do like their first certificate for in business, because like they were teaching all the hypnotherapy stuff, but they weren't teaching any of the business. And then people are saying to me like, you know what, like the lecturers there, like they're all great, but it feels like they're all holding back their stuff. It's like that they don't want to, it's like they don't want too much competition. They want to hold back their best techniques so that we don't use them. And so instead of like trying to stick up to the academy, I didn't argue with them. I basically just pulled out a piece of paper and wrote down what they said. And then I just continued with my lesson. They're like, what are you doing? I've gone, you'll see. And then later on, what I did is like, I put out this seminar, this ad, where all my other lecturers were getting like 5 to 6 people attending the seminars, and I got 86.
Mhm.
And so I wasn't even a lecturer at that point. I was just sort of asked to come in like a little bit. They were the official lecturers that everybody loved. And like they were leaning so much on the hypnotherapy knowledge, but they weren't looking into how to write an ad. And so in my ad, I wrote down, find out the things that the industry's holding back. Find out the industry secrets that the teachers don't want to tell you. And so like, it's like, where did I get that line? I picked it up in class when people were whinging. And so whinging is a perfect DDFF exercise. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So where are your customers whinging? And how can you capture that? Because that's going to get you leads, especially with the next thing that Jackie's going to show. Jackie, you cool if I go into one more of these?
Yeah.
Joe was talking about tech issues. So not having to think about tech issues. So I like where this is coming from, but we really need to use the language that a person's using when they're making a genuine complaint. What I find, tell me, do you guys think this is true? When a person talks about a tech issue, the sentence that they're likely to ask is, which tool should I use? Which is the right one? Because what they think, they're not thinking like, how do I solve a tech issue? They want to know like, what's the right program? Have you guys asked that question yourself sometimes? Like say you want to send out emails. You're like, all right, well, what's the right system? What should I buy? Or I need to do like something with webinar software. Which one should I buy? I can't hear you guys.
Yes.
Yep. So you've asked that?
What's the best one to get?
Yeah.
Yeah, I go around in circles on it.
Yeah. Imagine a headline that says the top 3 webinar softwares to help you get a full client base versus a headline that says how to solve tech issues in your business.
Yeah, I'd be attracted to the top 3 because my convince is 3. So I'd need to compare 3. So that'd really appeal to me.
Yep. And then what else is in that sentence that seems to help?
Was the top 3. So I don't have to go looking for them. You've done it already.
Yeah, and it's like it's like we're telling you what tool to buy. So it's an easy thing. So it's like it's the big and the small. So the big is that you're going to have this business, which is great. So it's a big outcome. The small is all you need to do is like just pull out your credit card and buy one thing. So it's kind of like one small effort, one big result.
Yeah.
It's kind of hidden in the post, but people instinctively get that. Like what you don't want in the post is either one big result for one big effort. You don't want to make them feel like when getting traffic in, you don't want them to feel at that second while they're doing this on their phone. You don't want them to feel that they have to donate half an hour right now when they've never met you before. It's like they can donate 1 second. It's like when the thing Jackie's about to show you with headlines and the call to action. It's the big and the small. It's like how to get big thing, do one small thing to get it. Type them in.
Yeah. A
Jackie,
good
you
metaphor
wanna,
I've heard is it's a small, like the customer, it's a small commitment for, you know, a big thing you're helping them with. But their time, you know, they don't need to put any effort in. Like you said, we've already found the 3. A really good metaphor I heard that kind of stuck with me is it's kind of like dating. You know, it's like a small commitment. At first, you might ask someone on a date, but you wouldn't go, do you want to marry me? So it's kind of the same thing in your marketing. It's the first step. It's like they're strangers. So to get their attention, it's kind of like, here's something cool I've got. Like that's a lot of value, like the 3 webinars platforms help you get clients, but you're not asking a lot from them. Just like, it's kind of like, give me a go, you know, come out on a date with me. It's the same kind of thing. And then later, you know, after you built the relationship, you can do the marriage.
Yeah.
Remember the song? Like, I just met you. This is crazy. Here's my number.
Yeah.
It is crazy. It's like it's too fast. Like the will you marry me approach.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next part. Are you good with that, Scott?
Yeah.
So
Let's go.
everything we do, we kind of geek out on trying to make it all line up. It's one of our favorite things. So everything we do, this exercise, you'll see it. Oh, you'll be like, okay, I see why you're doing that now. Is this links to this and this links to this over time? It's brilliant. So what we're going to do next is we're going to show you the first way to use this exercise to write a post title. So like Scott said before, he said something like 3 webinar platforms to get, what was it, Scott?
Oh, the 3 webinar softwares to buy to grow your client base by 20 per week, something like that. It's specific. I want it. And then what do I do to get it? Type them in.
So what he did is he, like with the dating, he did do you want to give me a shot? Like let's go on a date. He's like, here's something, give me a go, pretty much. And what he did is he took the DDFF, right? Because we were speaking about how people with tech issues have problems with choosing software. So he took that DDF problem and put it into that title, and now is using it. Joe, you can use this in your marketing, but now is using it as a lead magnet to grow his audience, right? And we can all, even you, Sylvia, you were like, oh, that sounds like something you might be interested in, and everyone else probably is too. Everyone would probably download that or watch that video because it's great. So what that means is Joe's email list and audience and visibility will grow through that headline. So yeah, Scott took that frustration, put it in a headline. So now I'm going to show you with a formula, our first formula to do this, how to take your DDFF, your dreams, desires, fears, and frustrations, and put it in a headline. So I'm just going to share my screen so you can see it.
Is this useful, guys?
Yes.
Brilliant. Here's the framework. What, sorry?
You guys are doing really well. Let's come back to Timothy in a bit after this. I don't want to interrupt. We'll come back to him like after this exercise.
Easy. Okay, so this is the headline framework. So this is the second thing we want you guys to do on your piece of paper, and then to put it in the chat thread. So this is how we take the DDFF and take how your client's feeling and put it into a headline like Scott did with the 3 webinar platforms, softwares to buy to grow your audience. So you can do the same, whether it's anxiety, depression, you help them earn money, you help them choose the best property, whatever it is, it's to take what they feel and put it into a title so that you get their attention. And so the formula is how to, dreams or desires. So we insert something from your that you said before from dreams or desires without fears or frustrations. And then what you insert is something you said from a fear or frustration. Like Scott, the example he did before, it's slightly different. This is just like the first stepping stone to writing a headline. But let me just break it down for a sec to show you why it's so great. So the how-to, the reason we use this a lot is because we're already searching this all the time. Does anyone remember what Scott typed into Google after his ex left him? Anyone?
How to get your partner
Get my
back.
ex back.
Yeah.
How to. So how to, dream or desire, there's no without. So sometimes it's not, doesn't have a without, but he literally typed in how to, dreams or desires. And the reason we do how to is because we're always typing how to into Google. I've probably, already typed it in the last couple of days. So that's why we do that. And then we're talking about, what they want. So, because that's why people will respond, because you're saying, oh, I've got this thing that you want. Here you go. And the without, fears or frustrations, it's pretty much objection handling. I think it's brilliant. So whenever you say, you might say like how to lose 15 kilos in 2 weeks, people will probably have objections with that, right? Like if I said that to you, how to lose 15 kilos in 2 weeks, what would you probably say?
The BS meter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So if it was an actual thing, I don't think it is an actual thing, but let's say someone had this really great new thing, this new whatever device that helped people to do it and it was achievable. It's like how to lose 15 kilos in 2 weeks, even if you feel like this sounds like bullshit, or even if this doesn't sound believable, or even if you've tried things before and it didn't work. So what it does is it handles any objection that people have when you talk about it. So another one, like that Scott uses with quit smoking is how to quit smoking without, what do you reckon's a objection people might say to that?
Without patches, pills, withdrawals, imagine how to survive the first 2 weeks of keto, even if you rely heavily on sugar to do your job.
Yeah, even if you love, like your favorite thing to do is eat lollies and candy. Yeah.
Even if Halloween's coming up.
So guys, what we want you to do is, we'll jump to you, Timothy, in a sec, like Scott said, but pretty much what I want you to do is have a go at writing 10. And what we did last time in the last round of the Rivalry, which worked really well, is instead of just commenting the 10 in the chat thread, what I want you to do is in the Entrepreneurs Rivalry, make a new post that's a poll. And then each poll option is a different one of your 10 headlines so that we can all vote and you can get both mine and Scott's feedback. And it's really easy for everyone in the group to just vote and say, we like this one best. And the reason we want to do that is because it helps you the most. If you get not just everyone here, but everyone in the later session, plus everyone else in the group's feedback on which headline stands out best in your marketing. So all you need to do is ask a question first. So give people context. So can you tell me which headline do you like best and why? And then, with the polls, just add an option. So I can show you, is everyone clear with how to do that? Or do you need like a demonstration?
I know how to do a poll.
Yeah. Easy. If anyone doesn't know, just let us know and we can, help you. But anyway, Scott, you wanted to say something?
Oh, with Timothy. So Desires launch a book I've been working on 13th of December 2021. Launch an online program I've been working on by the 25th of December. Is that something that that you've been working on, or is that something you help clients to do?
Could you repeat?
So with that one that you wrote about the book launch, is that something you help your clients to do, or is that something that you yourself have been working on?
Oh, yeah, that's something I'm doing myself. I've been working on it myself. Yeah.
So what's one perhaps that So what do you help people to achieve?
Oh, okay. Just give me a second to type it in the chat. Okay, these basically were my personal dreams and frustrations. So let me just type it in the chat first.
No
Okay.
worries. That's all right. Yeah. So we're really looking for your client's point of view. The second one, anything and everything tech. If I wanted to misinterpret that, I've got a lot of space to use to misinterpret it because it's so wide. I had one of my lecturers, like, she put on this at the same academy that I studied at and was a lecturer at. She put on this seminar called Fast Track to Fabulous. She was already doing something like $156,000 a year in hypnotherapy, but she was only getting 6 people to her seminars. And I was getting 86 people. And she's gone like, well, at the time, she's gone, I'm doing so much better at what you are at the hypnotherapy. So why are people coming to your seminars and not mine? And I've gone, it's your headline. She's like, what do you mean? My headline's great, Fast Track to Fabulous. I've gone, well, what is Fast Track to Fabulous? What's it about? She's like, well, you've been to it. I'm like, I'm sure it was great, but based on the headline, I can't even remember. Fast Track to Fabulous. Like, is it how to put on makeup? Do you know what I mean? Like, it can mean anything.
Those would be my own personal pain points that I am averse to anything that's tech.
Yeah.
Not my clients, it's mine.
Her seminar was one of the best seminars that I've ever seen in the industry or in any industry on how to attract clients. But a headline only brought 6 people. And it really deserved more people to show up. So like my headline was how to become an expert quit smoking hypnotherapist. What would you say that I taught at my seminar? So are you still there?
Yeah, still here.
Yep. So what would you say that at my seminar, what would you say that I taught if it's called how to become an expert quit smoking hypnotherapist?
You're teaching people how to become expert in quitting smoking.
Yeah, just the headline says it all. And so we changed hers. Remember, like, where she's already done like 156K in hypnotherapy without a web page. And so we basically said, there's your headline. So I wrote her next ad and she paid me to write it. We made the headline how to attract 156K in hypnotherapy without a web page. So what would you say, like, how many people would you say that she got, like, more or less after changing the headline?
I presume more.
Started to get a lot more than what I did. And I'm like, hey, I wrote the ad. But her seminar was so brilliant that she deserved all of that success because she worked so hard and she's doing 7 figures now and teaching internationally. But just that one headline, and this is so many years ago that she's way past this obstacle. So that's why, like, we really want to make this headline something that a person who's busy would understand.
Got you.
So somebody else perhaps, like, if you wanted to summarize like the point that I just made, what would you say that I've just been talking about? Like, what's the moral of the story?
Make your headlines sell.
Yeah, absolutely. There's somebody else as well. You can unmute yourself, guys. Just who else wants to summarize like what I've just said?
Your headline's clear about what you're about as well, because the lady that you wrote the ad for, it was ambiguous. It wasn't very specific, so they really know you're reaching your target audience when it's specific.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, it's Josh.
I was just playing with my phone and like a video came up.
Wonder who that was. Wonder.
Yeah, I should.
And well,
There we go.
I was looking at you, Jackie, wondering how you're talking without moving your mouth.
Yeah. I also on the side, 2 truths and a lie, do that like puppet thing.
I was about to make that same joke. Was anybody else thinking that exact same joke as well? The 2 truths and a lie for that?
No. Oh.
Maybe we're the weird ones.
So how many options do you want us to put in the poll?
I reckon up to 10 would be really good so people could vote. So you don't need to finish it now.
I'm struggling. I've done 2, but
So let's make it homework.
shall we post the
Because
2 what you've done, and then can we add poll options as we go later?
Absolutely you can. So if you just post it now, like then there'll be a button
Yeah.
under it that says add
Okay,
options.
cool.
You guys are doing so well. You guys liking this so far? I didn't hear any response.
There was a lot of nods and thumbs up.
We're trying to do our polls. Yeah. So
I think everyone's a bit distracted with their poll. Yeah.
I just had the single. I didn't have the gallery view on.
Ah.
So let's make that homework, because this is something that we can perhaps continue over like the next day perhaps. Tomorrow we're going to continue with this. So once everyone's posted their headlines and we've done some voting and we've given some reasons, if you can also comment on other people's polls, vote as well, so that we know kind of which ones that you seem to prefer. And also don't just vote on it, but underneath it, if you can give a reason to say, I picked this one because, and be kind and honest at the same time as to why you picked it. Tomorrow we're going into the next exercise. Is underneath the headline, the next thing that you need is to basically, you've grabbed their attention, now you need to do something with it. And that's one that Jackie and I always have a lot of fun with this one, because it's so tapped into human psychology that when you hear this particular formula, you will hear this particular formula absolutely everywhere that you go. So before we wrap it up, do you guys have any questions?
yes, I posted a question in the chat.
It's a little bit reverby or echoey.
I think
I
it's
posted a question in the chat to Jackie.
Oh, messenger.
Can't hear her.
Can you just type in the thread what your question is? Why do you start from right to left and not left to right? So dreams, desires, fears, and frustrations. The number one reason, so the actual DDFF, where you actually see that, my reason was that's the way it was taught to me. No other reason.
Are you also asking why do we go how to dreams or desire first? Or no? Yeah, okay. So guys, because I was thinking that when you said that. So yeah, Joe's also asking at the same time that as well.
Oh, the
we go how to dreams or desire without fear or frustration, rather than how to fear or frustration without dream or desire. Scott, I reckon you answer that really well. So do you want to say?
Yeah, something that I like to tell people about this particular one is there was an exercise that one of my mentors gave me that said, when you're writing a headline, imagine that you can get paid for every word that you delete without losing any of the meaning. So like, like that game of Jenga, like we've got all of the blocks and you have to pull blocks out, but at the same time, the tower's not allowed to fall over. So the idea is the sentence isn't allowed to fall over, but you have to pull as many words out as possible to shorten it to get to someone, like they're scrolling really fast or on their phone, they're doing this like really, really fast. You have a limited amount of words that you can write before you get to the topic. So let's say like a lot of our students in the past, like when they first started, they've done a headline where it's word number 23 before you actually get to their niche. So let's say like somebody writes something like how to avoid all of the problems that go along with all of the circumstances, the awkwardness, the frustration, perhaps even like the time it takes in order for you to, you're like, while you're trying to get it all done, when all you want to do is bake a cake. So you had to listen through all of that before you found out what I was actually talking about. Online, people don't have to give you the manners to stand there in front of you and listen. They can just keep scrolling. They're like, nah, next, nah, next, because they have, it's not that just short attention spans, is that there's everything competing for their attention span at the same time. So if you don't get to the point fast, they're gone. So with one of my favorite ones was like, how to quit smoking. So how to quit smoking in under 60 minutes. So like the without, I used in under 60 minutes. I was going to say without spending years trying to do it, but in under 60 minutes kind of does my fears and frustrations as well. Because the subtext of saying in under 60 minutes is that it's not going to take you forever. So how to quit smoking in under 60 minutes. It was such a short sentence that I got hundreds of people typing I'm in for the ebook that they gave away. Another one that, like, Jackie, were you going to show the, do you still have the screenshot of the 4-hour course?
I can just go on Facebook and get it up. 1 second.
Sure. So one that we put out that was very popular, how to finish your online course in 4 hours and sell 10.
So it's how to create an online course and sell 10 in 4 hours with a call to action. So I'm just getting it up. Okay, I'll share my screen with you so you can all see it. Okay. So this is an example of this exercise you're doing. The only difference, so we've got the how to. The only difference is we've also added the next step. But if we just focus, let's start with the how to. So what's the dream or desire in this sentence?
Create that online course.
Yeah. Spot on. And it doesn't say the word without, but technically it's still the frustration. Like what's the
frustration is that you create this course and no one buys it.
Yes, so true, because we're talking about selling. And what's the other one?
Sorry.
Yeah, you said the same thing.
In little time.
Can you say that again?
Create in little time, in less time.
Less time. Spot on. So we did both those frustrations. So what you said about the people make courses and they don't sell any. And we also did people spend ages doing their course in this headline. We just worded it slightly different, like with Scott's Jenga thing, so that it takes up less words, so that people are more likely to stop rather than scroll past. See that? So we didn't say the word without, but we technically did it anyway.
The subtext is there.
This posted really, really well. So this is one example of me posting it. It's so simple. This is just one group. So, when it gets 202 comments, you post it in more than one place. But this is actually 101 people, because I reply to everybody. But yeah, so 101 people from just this one post. And then we posted it again in other groups and other groups. And that's how to slowly get visibility. Well, not slowly, fast. It's pretty great. With the headline that you're writing. So the how to without. Did you guys like that example? Great. Okay.
You guys have been absolutely fantastic. We want to wrap it up because you've been through like nearly 100 minutes with us, which is a brilliant, brilliant effort. Do you have any last questions before we wrap it up?
Yeah, can I just ask, do we normally allocate an hour and a half every time we catch up?
No. We try to keep it under 60 minutes, but sometimes, like, yeah, we just, like today, it feels like it's been worth it to really get you guys to, with this particular post, everything's going to be leaning on this one particular exercise, like with the DDFF and with the headline, but other ones will be much shorter.
It's not the time that matters, just so I can manage my own schedule, that's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions? Because if not, I just want to thank you guys for just like sticking with this long, because this has been like a bit of a monster session, a bit of a marathon, and you guys have done so well, and I'm so impressed. Who's excited about doing another one of these? Excellent. All righty. So let's wrap it up there, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Brent, I think you had a question.
Oh yeah, we do it. Hang on. Are we doing this every day for how long? Like, is it just a week? I mean, do you hear me, Jack?
Oh, sorry. I was waiting for Scott to answer.
Oh.
We're both waiting for each
what?
other to speak. So we'll be doing a live training. Well, yeah, for today, as you know, and on day 5. And the other trainings won't be live, just so it's easier for everyone.
Oh, okay. So it's all going on the post. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No worries. Anything else, Scott?
Is today day 1, and what day is day 5? I just want to put it in my diary. So
We'll probably we'll be announcing that soon. So last time we did like a few gaps in between to let some people catch up depending on the speed. But we want to make sure that we're giving you enough warning for day 5. So it probably won't be an exact 5 days in a row.
Yeah.
But we're really eager to get you onto like the day 5 Zoom, so we can go through like a lot of the steps that we've covered already.
Yep.
Cool.
So basically the event's running inside the group. So stay in the group and watch what's happening in the group and respond to the stuff in the group versus these Zooms.
It's all about the group. Yep.
Yeah, as much as possible. It helps us, like when you do the homework, then we can give feedback on it. Because then, like, you know, we've got the entire, you know, either 24 hours or the week to give as much value as possible. What would you say that you've gotten out of, just before we wrap up, like what's like perhaps just 1 or 2 things you'd say that you've gotten out of today?
DDFF.
Yep.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's it.
I've just been adding things into my poll as I've typed it in, and then new ideas, because there's different angles to my business, and I'm just sort of putting different how-tos and withouts and that sort of thing. So so yeah, that's been huge. Thank you.
Thank you too. Jackie, do you reckon we're ready to wrap it up?
Yep. Good job, guys.
It's been fun. All right, we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, bye.
Everybody.